Sigota hauyuko hapa. All right, hi guys. Yes, I guess. No, I haven't. Let me give it. Hi guys, thank you for joining us. This is the long-awaited hackathon. I can't select anything with this. Peter, we see you. Hide this. Links. Let me post for you the YouTube link so that you can get access if you want to watch us maybe sometime later. Calendar. But welcome to the hackathon. Nice to see all of you here. There. Okay. YouTube. Yeah. Okay, I've posted the YouTube link just in case you guys want to watch. All right. I'm still sharing my screen. Let me now connect this. Yes, I'm asking nicely. Yes. Oh my God. Slideshow. Presentation mode is not working again. Can someone help me? Najaribu kuweka slideshow and it's LibreOffice. Okay. Nikiconnect huku haizi select vitu zingine. You have, okay. Let me close this whole thing because they're all inactive. Yes. Iko? Nini ya properties? This one. But no, it's not the one. Stuff in my hand. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys, for the hold up. Now we can begin. I hope it's okay now. Should be. All right. Simnaona poa? Okay, so I'm sorry I have to start over. Thank you guys for coming to the hackathon. It's nice to see Ice Cube, Evans, right? Ice Cube, Peter, Linda, Sigu, Deno, Malcolm, Lucy, Refuge, Dedan, and the lovely Alice Akim. All right. So, all right. So, this is the format. I'm supposed to begin at 8:50. I'm a little late, but I'll finish at 9:10. Personally, I'll be presenting about HTTP. It's a basic thing that we need to know if we want to venture into M-pesa integrations, right? Okay, so what is HTTP? HTTP in full stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So it is designed to enable communications between clients and servers. If I give a simple example of a client and server, Sigu and Peter will beat you people up. If I give a good example of a client and a server, it's like my browser and a server, a web server somewhere. So I can send requests to my web server and I can receive responses from my web server. So that's exactly what HTTP does. It works as a request and response protocol between a client and a server. So when I send a request, I receive a response. Just like when I ask you a question, you can always give me an answer. Then a web browser may be the client. Sorry, a web browser may be the client. So me getting into my browser and typing blah blah blah.com/this. That's me being the client. Yeah. Am I muted? Okay. Yeah, Dedan, you can turn and see it from here if you can see it clearly. All right. A web browser may be the client, and an application on a computer that hosts a website may be the server. That's what I've explained is the client and server request and response protocol. All right, next, this is just an addition of the definition of HTTP. It is a set of rules for transferring files, such as texts, graphic images, sound, video, and other multimedia files on the World Wide Web. World Wide Web is simply the internet. So if I go to the internet and I want to transfer images, sounds, videos through certain requests in my browser, that's simply what HTTP does for us. So there's a HTTP example here. A client submits a HTTP request to the server. So it's like me going to my browser and typing this certain request here, or any other request apart from this. And then every time I send a request, I must get a response from the web server, right? So the web server returns a response to the client. The response contains status information about the request and may also contain the requested content. Can you guys see this? I don't know if it's clear, but I can read it out. There's a status code there, status 200. There's a date, there's a content type, content encoding, content length, last modified, server. These are all the details that a response contains when it sends me back the response from my request. Okay. It also contains the content that I asked it for. So if I asked for a page maybe containing names of people, it will return all these other things plus what I asked it for. A point to note, as soon as a web user opens their web browser, the user is indirectly making use of a HTTP. The moment umenda Chrome or umenda Firefox, you're already directly making use of HTTP, because anytime you paste or you post anything on your browser, you're already making a HTTP request. So how does a HTTP session work? A HTTP session is Mimi coming here, opening my browser, and then typing anything and sitting back and waiting for a response. So the first step is establishing a connection to a particular port on a server. So who can explain to me what a port is? Real quick. Tego? What's a port? Yeah, a port. What's that? Really? No, a port like in HTTP. Kamlango. Aje. Okay. So a port is simply a gateway. All right, awesome. Thank you. So that's the first step. First, you have to establish a port on a server, a port that you want to use. Most of the times in Akwanga port 8080. Yeah. Step 2, a HTTP client initiates a request. To initiate a request is me going to my browser and typing what facebook.com or and it's me initiating a request. The third step is a HTTP server listening on that port waits for the client request message. So the moment I open my browser and I'm typing my request, there's a port that is listening in, waiting for my request so that it could give a response, right? Then there's step 4, the server receives the request. So I've sent a request, the server receives it, works on it, and then step 5 sends back the status for me. So the status can either be okay or not okay. Yeah. So note that the status line could be an error code or a success code. Right after this, I'll show you the different errors and success codes that are usually available in HTTP. So what are HTTP verbs? They are methods that indicate the desired action to be performed on the identified resource. So these verbs are things like get, post, patch, put, and delete. I'm sure you've heard of them somewhere, so I'll explain them. The get requests data from resource. Requests are representation of the specified resource. Requests using get receive data have no other thing. I am literally requesting for something. It's like I am asking for area. That's exactly what get does. For post does the opposite of get. It submits data to be processed to a specified resource. Requests that a web server accepts the data. Requests that a web server accepts the data enclosed in the body of the request message. Oh, so when I send a post request, it needs to have a message that tells the browser that I have sent this message and I need you to store it for me. That's what post does. Then there's requests that the enclosed entity be stored in the supplied URI. So a URI, I think, is it's a type of link. It's a link reference, if I'm not wrong. It's a kind of reference that I can use to store things inside. So if I do a put method, it simply goes to that link, the URI, and with the resource I have sent it with, it either stores it there, and if it finds another resource in there, it modifies it. Yeah. If the URI does not point to an existing resource, then the server can create the resource with that URI. So if a resource that I'm requesting for is not already in the URI, the server can process and create another resource for me. Then delete literally just deletes the resource. Patch, it applies partial modifications to a resource. So if I don't want to change the entire resource as it is, I can only patch just to change a part of it. So what is a HTTP request? A HTTP request, I've talked about it a lot, is when I go to my browser and I give it an instruction, give me this page or give me this details and stuff like that. So you need to note that for every request, there must always be a corresponding response. Anytime I ask Dedan a question, he will always have an answer for me. Yeah, that's the request and response thing. So what does a request entail? It contains the request line. This is what I post in my browser. The first thing, I don't know how I can highlight it. The get images, this is what I post in my browser. That's the request. It also contains the request header fields, accept I'll explain for us. The request header fields in a request. Mm-hmm. 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 Have you unmuted? Hope you can be heard.
Yeah, so that's basically it. Sigu can maybe. Huh? Sigu, are you there?
Where?
Yeah. I need you to explain the
Request
type.
header. Yeah.
I don't know how to see what it is. Okay. A request header. I can hear myself. So a HTTP request is like sending a child to the shop to get you something, and they must come back with it, or they must come back. Okay, whenever you send your kid to the shop, they must come back. Otherwise, so send them to the shop. Tell them to get you sugar. Unataka kupika chai. They have to come back. Wakwambie sukari imeisha, mtume huko kwingine ama arudi na sukari.
Yeah.
So sema unaomba sukari hiyo, sikuwa una pesa na mgeni ametokea. Hauna pesa, mgeni ametokea. So what you do, unaambia mtoto enda kwa hakim, mwambie kupatie sukari quarter. Unaweza kuomba zinahonga quarter, nusu. Mwambie kupatie sukari quarter, sinda. Mtoto ataenda, message ni pesa sukari quarter, sinda. Mwenye shop akimwona atajua. Ataenda kujintroduce. Hapana, sinda. Si anajua ni mtoto wa geti. Yeah. So headers ni, I have more information about myself when I'm coming to you. Which information is that? Nasema which type of a request I am. Kutuma na expect unipatie nini? Kama nimekuja na JSON, na expect unirudishie na JSON. Hiyo pia nasema kwa header. Which HTTP version are you using? HTTP 1. So iko na more information. Sasa ni kama huyu mtoto already unajua ni wa geti, na unajua vizuri atarudi na iskari. Unajua kama anakuwa na tabia mbaya, labda anakuja kuomba na kama kuna mtoto fulani alikuwa kwetu. Yeye alikuwa anaenda anasema nyanya yake amemtuma mkate nusu. Alafu anaenda anaiba. Najua huyu mtoto akiomba mkate nusu hata hivi. So headers iko na information about whoever is making the request.
All right.
Hauna screenshot ya request header?
No, sikuchukua. Yeah.
Na ndio sasa. Right. Language English inamaanisha nimekuongelesha nijibu na English tafadhali. Kuna wale nimekuongelesha nijibu na Spanish ama whatever. The Luo ni wale wa yes, you'll talk to me in Luo but nitakujibu na English na Swahili ama English. Watu wengi wako hivyo.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Sigu. And so we have the request line, request header, an empty line, and then an optional message body. A message body being the same details about what the request is. That's why it's optional. So I can give more details about what the request is or not. So what is the response? A response is anything that I get after I send my request. Whenever I send my request, I always expect a response. So a response must always be to a specific request. So a response, what it entails, a status line. A status line is like, yes, this has gone through, or no, this hasn't gone through. It also contains response header fields, just like Sigo has explained. A little more detail about what I am as a response. And then it also contains an optional message body. More details about what this response is about. Okay, and then there's how people don't understand the basic difference between HTTP and HTTPS. So HTTPS is simply a secure browser. So the browser are encrypting the client and the server is between HTTP. I think it's safe, I think. Yeah, that's all. I still have 1 minute. I still have 1 minute to ask questions because we anyone? Anything that you can always repeat.
Repeat. So you can do a recap of HTTP and everything.
I do a recap.
Yeah, a recap of kila chenye umesema just so that wale wenye walikuwa naongea wakisettle. Yeah, hivyo.
All right. So the first thing I did was to define HTTP. In full, it's Hypertext Transfer Protocol. What it does, it provides communication between me, the client, or me, my browser, and Nani Hajamit, and a web server. So it works on a request and response protocol. Whenever I send a request, I will always receive a response from my web server. Okay. And then, yeah, that's the same thing I've said. So the client makes a request, the web server gives back my response, right? A point to note, as soon as a web user opens the web browser, the user is indirectly making use of HTTP. Yeah. So anytime you're opening your browser to make any request, you're already making use of HTTP. So there are steps of a HTTP session. I sit down, I open my browser, I start Googling or searching for anything. A request is sent to my web server. It comes back with a response. It either comes back with something that I've asked it or comes back with an error. There's HTTP verbs. We've seen get, post, patch, put, and delete. What get does, get requests data from a specific resource. So if I want to get anything, I just get it, like it's get. So you request something. For post, it does the opposite of get. It submits data instead. For put, it requests that this request that I've given you, enclose it in a URI. And if you find that you want something, if you find it doesn't have anything, create a resource, okay? Delete simply deletes that resource. Patch, it makes changes to a part of that resource. If I don't want to change or make modifications to the entire resource, I can make changes to a part of it. That's what patch does. A HTTP request, it's simply me asking a web server to give me something I want. Me going to facebook.com and searching someone's name, that's a HTTP request. It contains a request line, my code that I typed there qua browser. Facebook.com/kt or anything contains the request header fields, more details about what my request is about, an empty line. All of them always contain an empty line and an optional message body. Anything more that I need to entail in my request, I will put in the message body, but it's optional. A response is simply what I get from my request. I send a request and I'll always receive a response. It's either an error for this page is not there, or it comes back with what I've asked it for. If I typed facebook.com Lucy, it will give me Lucy's profile. So what it entails is the same thing: status line, header fields, an empty line, and optional message body. The big deal between HTTP and HTTPS is that HTTPS is more secure. Welcome, Sabiti. HTTPS is more secure than HTTP because communication between clients and web server is encrypted. That's all. Any other questions or anything unclarified? None. All right, so acha nionyeshe hizo status codes. Zilikuwa W3 school somewhere. 3. Hizi ni ma JavaScript. Yeah? What? Oh, yes. Good girl. Thank you. Where is it? Non-HTML. Now, where did I place those things? Let me just search for it. W3 school HTTP records. My time is up. So these are the records. You can see them. Like 100 means continue. 101 switching protocols. 200 means it's okay. 204 no content. It's not that you have to cram these things, but once you find an error like that, you know what to relate to it. 302 means found. Like 400 means bad request. 44 not found. Yeah, you can always go through this in your free time. I'll post the link on Hangouts. Yeah, that's it for me. I hope mmeelewa anything yenye nimesema. Awesome. Sorry? The presentation, the slides. I can also send them for you. Sawa. Where? Yeah, you can switch to my screen. It's Lucy. I've shared my screen. So, hi. Sasa ni kwenye hamnijui, naitwa Lucy Misa. Can you hear me? I don't want to wear this. Hi. Yeah. Yeah, so I think Getty has presented 70% of my presentation, but I will pick up from where she left. We have something called a server and a client relationship. That is, for example, your web browser is a client. A client is a program that requests for resources, and then there's a web server somewhere that is the web server that will respond to the requests, your web server's requests. Are we together? So when you type how to do something, Python documentation, Ruby documentation, that document is stored somewhere on the web server. So when you type on your web browser Ruby docs, your browser sends that request. It tells the web server, I want to see the Ruby docs. So the web server responds back by giving it the docs if it finds it, or an error message if it does not. Welcome. Yeah, so that is the client server program relationship. Yeah, and this is the simplest this diagram can get. The web server this is a web service conversation. This is the simplest, where we have yeah nani anatumia earphones? Nataka mniambie kama mnanisikia kwa earphones kwa video, because I can't hear myself. Okay, I can't hear. I'm supposed to hear. Okay. So this is the most simplest diagram between a client and a server, the conversation, yeah, or rather the communication, where the client sends the message. The client sends a request and the server responds. This is the simplest it could get, but the diagram could get dirtier, and it could get even more dirtier than this. Dirtier. uh, it could get dirtier than this. It could get more detailed than this if you take care of the small response and the requests and responses. Yeah. So as you today we'll just scratch the surfaces. So with that in mind, the thing is, I think Getty mentioned, every time there's a HTTP request, there will always be a response. But the problem is the server and the client speaks different languages. The server uses text. The browser uses JSON objects. Sorry, JavaScript objects. So we need something that can help them communicate. It's like someone speaks English and the other one speaks Chinese and they need to communicate. They need a translator. They need someone that can help them communicate. And this is where JSON comes in. JSON is an abbreviation that means JavaScript Object Notation. Do I need to write? No, okay. Yeah. And another thing, JSON is the syntax for JSON is a subscript of JavaScript. What that means is a lot of the JSON syntax has been derived from JavaScript syntax. Yeah. So I hadn't written it, but I wanted to write. Could you a JavaScript object? How many people have done JavaScript in this room? Have done JavaScript in this room. So, who will help me write a JavaScript object? Yes. But, obj1. Yeah, and I think you have to. This one has to be that, or it can be a number or something like that. This is how a JavaScript object is written. Sorry, I didn't write it here. So the JSON object takes the same format, the key value pairs with exceptions. First of all, you have to enclose the keys have to be a string. Like here, it will be like this. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. Like the for JavaScript objects, the key could be anything. Could be a number. Could be, for example, if you're talking about an object person, we could say name Lucy, age 30, and so on. This is a JavaScript This is a JavaScript object. But then when we are talking about JSON, we'll say person. The name also has to be inside the double quotes, and it has to be double quotes. In JavaScript, it could be single or double, but in JSON, it has to be double quotes. Now this is yes. This is JavaScript, and this is JSON. Craft, what are you saying? This one. It's not good. So, are we together? Any question? You look lost, all of you. Are we together? This is okay. I will catch someone who's lost. So when you're writing your JSON objects, you have to remember that you have to have the key and the value pairs. I don't know how to put this simply. The key is like name, and then the value is the name, like name Lucy, and they have to be separated by a colon, and all of them have to be enclosed in double quotes, not single. Oh, you don't enclose it. So this is where the two methods come in: JSON stringify and JSON pass. JSON stringify and JSON pass methods. So I will start with the first one, the one that is on your screen, stringify. So we said that when client communicates with the web server, sorry. I think I want to draw this. If I have a client here and a web server, this is my client and this is a web server. The client requests and it does this using JavaScript objects. The web server will respond using text. So when the client requests, it requests using the JavaScript object, but the web server does not understand what this is. The same with the response from the web server. The client does not understand text. So we need JSON in between here. I don't know, somewhere here, so that it can help us translate to whatever the other party understands. So for stringify, it enables to convert the request, which is JSON object, to text. So for example, we have on my screen, you can look at the example. That is the object, the JavaScript object. And then we want to convert it into text so that our browser can understand what our web server can understand what we are telling it to do. So we will stringify it. We say var my JSON equals JSON.stringify, and then our argument will be the object. So our browser will understand what we are saying. It's like you're telling JSON, tell this to our web server. Any question? I will catch someone. Any question? You seem lost. We need to stringify it because when our client, that is our web browser, requests something, it requests it using JSON objects. But our web server does not understand what that is. So we need to convert it into a format that our web server can understand. And JSON helps us to do that. And in this case, our web server can only understand text. So the stringify method enables us to convert the request from being a JavaScript object to a text. In that format, our web server will understand what we are talking about, what we are asking it to do for us. Is everybody okay? Okay. So, if you have been following through, you now know that when we request, the web server will have to respond, no matter if it's a success or error. And we said that our web server will respond with text. And again, our client does not understand what text is. So here now, the JSON will enable us to convert the response into JavaScript objects so that our browser can understand it. When you're doing the APIs, you will see the importance of this. Yeah. So I used the same example, the one that I had used before. So here, the text, that is the JSON object. I can say that. You see, it is enclosed between single quotes. Have you seen that? In the example here. Here. That is a JSON text. So we want to bring it back to JavaScript object so that our web browser can understand. So we pass it. So passing it is making it readable. How can I say it? I don't say pass. Anyone? Pass. Any question? I'm going to pass. I think Sigu was Googling it. Ouch. What is pass? This one? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In this case, being a JavaScript object so that the browser can understand it.
These are Swahili things, ndio. So nika vile iko, ndio. Alafu inalazimika kuadjust nika fresher. si ndio?
Yeah.
Fresher anakuanga past,
Yeah.
ndiye azoe maisha kwanza. Nini unacheka kama victim? Fresher anakuanga past, ndiye azoe sasa akuwe msichana wa university, si ndio? Sasa na wasichana na pia wavulana pia. So you are made to conform with a certain way of
Format or
a certain format.
yeah. So that is my presentation. Any questions before I start catching people? Any question? Any question? You look lost. You've not understood anything I've said. You're tired. You're hungry. My time is over. That is the only thing you can tell me. No, but really, seriously, have you understood it? Because you really need this. Like, it's building up. My presentation is building up on Getty's, and Crafties will build on mine. So if you've not understood, you'll have a problem. Yeah. And did not. Yeah. Yeah. Say now.
The next session
Yeah.
the third session. Now for the read session,
Fine. Yeah.
we expect you at that moment.
Yeah. What?
Because you have to send requests. You have to wait for response. You have to respond according to requests. You have to check on the status codes.
Yeah. So, yes. Yeah. They are opposite of each other. They're not the same. We've said, can I just recap everything and then from your presentation? We have two things. We have a client and a server. A client can be your web browser or any other program that requires a service. A server is the one that provides the service that is being requested for. So, for example, you Googled something like, she was saying, Facebook, how to be a billionaire. So, I will write it on my web browser and then press enter. When I press enter, I am telling Google to look on its web server somewhere in this, virtually, when you go virtual, to look for that page, to look for that resource. So when you send that request, the server receives it, and then when it will respond accordingly, whether it has it or not. For example, if you don't have a connection, you'll be told you do not have internet connection. Please connect. But for example, if it's a success, it's supposed to be 200, but we don't see that. We just see the, what is it called? The page load. But then if we get like error 500 is internal server something, we have a problem. You will see 500, that is a response. So yeah, every request must have a response. Don't forget that, whether it's positive or negative. So, and these two things, the client and the web server speaks different languages. Now that is where my presentation starts. Web server understands text. The client understands JavaScript objects. So when our client is sending a request, it will be in form of JavaScript objects. That means by default, our web server will not understand what the request is about. So JSON will come in and try JSON will come in and try to interpret the request to the web server. Are we together until there? JSON will come in and translate the request to the web server. Again, the web server will respond to the client, but the format by which the web server responds, the client does not understand. So JSON will have to come in again, translate the response. So that is where the JSON stringify and JSON.parse comes in. When we are here, when you're sending our request is in form of objects, but our web server does not understand. So we have to stringify it. Kustringify ni kuiturn equal text so that our web server can understand. So we will say, we will stringify it. And then when we are getting, the web server is sending the response back, it is in form of text, but the client does not understand that. So we pass it so that it can be in form of JavaScript object so that the client can understand it. Response, yeah. Any, yes? Yeah. 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 Yes, both of them. Yeah, I'm making them to conform to rules. Campus akirudi home anakuwa home hivyo. Anastringify, yeah. To and fro. Yeah. So, me understand? Everyone.
Yes.
Everyone. Dedan, how do we stringify? How do we stringify? What is stringifying? Ama, why do we need to stringify? Yeah, but you need to be loud enough so that you can hear you. Louder. Mm. Yeah, to understand requests. And pass refugee. What do we need to pass? Yeah, what do we need to pass? Why do we need to pass? Hmm? No, like this pass, not pass. This. PARSE. What do we need to do this? From here to here. No. We pass from here to here. Yeah. Yeah, I am You wanted to say something. What is your name? Huh? Okay. So, summary. As Getty said, we stringify requests and we pass responses. Any question? Who wants to be caught? Okay, that's it. I am done. Yeah.
Kwa YouTube. So unajua kila mtu anaonekana YouTube.
Michael.
Sawa. Alafu sasa story ya proof. I hope kila mtu ako muted.
I am not. Wait.
Nataka tuongelee story ya proof.
Roger. Someone to mute me, please. My laptop has hung. It has hung. No, mute.
See, muted.
At last. Eh. Ati? Okay, so as I started earlier, let me do a recap. Unajua nangoja watu wanyamaze. Thank you. Yeah, so we want to understand APIs. Yeah, so my name is Malcolm, aka, this is not an aka, this is my name, Crafty Coder. Yeah, so what is an API? So maybe you have ever wanted to do some work and people tell you, have you ever tried an API out? Yeah, so, and you're wondering what an API is, then you're lucky it is today. Yeah, so connectivity is amazing. And through this, we can place orders online. Actually, the world is a small place nowadays because Amazon, you can ship things from wherever the place they come from, eBay and all that. And they reach you wherever you are, but at a cost. So internet doesn't give free things. You have to pay for the services. Yeah, so nowadays we can place orders online, make reservations for booking of hotels and all that. Like Uber is another example, and maybe booking flights. This is the example I'll use, booking flights. Yeah, so how do they connect? As you can see this picture, it shows how the world is connected all over. Basically through API, application programming interface. That's the meaning. And maybe you have Googled what an API is, and the result, mainly Wikipedia, it gives you a way of development that enables applications to do this and that. All those long words. It's like 50 pages read, you start reading. Yeah, so the basic definition is basically the engine and the hood, the behind the scenes that we take for granted. All of you know behind the scenes, right? Like in movies, behind the scenes, you don't know what to know. What happened behind the scenes, but you just want to know how the movie went. Yeah. And APIs actually make possible the interactivity we rely upon. Yeah, this is repeated. I never saw that. I was doing this in a hurry. Forgive me. Yeah. So it's shocking what an API is. Yeah. So an API is a messenger. Now this is like the definition. A messenger that takes requests and tells the system what you want to do and returns the response back to you. Who was handling? Yeah, Get was handling HTTP requests. Yeah, so for every request, if you can recall, a request must have a response. Yeah, so for every request, the response is given. And that's not basically API, but API assists in that. Yeah, because when you maybe request for a page, you go to Facebook and you request for your profile, that's not an API. but this explains what an API does. Maybe when you want to log in into Facebook via Google. Yeah. So it sends the request to Facebook and all that. All the magic happens under the hood, behind the scenes. Yeah. So this API is mainly used JSON, and JSON is JavaScript object notation. Yeah, am I right here? Yeah, so it's JavaScript object notation, and this is the library designed to extract and manipulate data in HTML documents. The DOM, in short. Yeah, so a real life example of what an API is, it's like when you are in a hotel. This is actually a hotel, this one. This one here. So you have a menu, and this is the kitchen. Yeah, the image is small, you can't see, so I have to show you. This is the kitchen, and this is your food. So your work is to eat and pay for it. And the kitchen's work is to cook your food, prepare it nicely, and put it on the plate. Yeah, so we have the kitchen is the system, and you're another system. Yeah, you eat, they cook. But in a restaurant, you don't know. There must be an intermediary way of ordering the food. So what you basically do, what basically is the case, is that we have a waiter. So a waiter is like an API for our system now, connecting this to eating and cooking systems. Yeah. So the API comes and gets your requests, goes to the kitchen, fetches the food you ordered, and responds to you back with the food. Yeah, so that's what it is. And yeah, I've explained it without moving to this image. So as you can see, the waiter comes here, takes your order, and goes to the kitchen. This is an arrow, if you can see. This is an arrow coming back, comes to the food back. Yeah. So that's the example I'll give you in real life. And now the API example, Sasa. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Sometimes when you order food,
Mhm.
they'll tell you,
Yeah.
okay, we received your order. We preparing your food. Unazile za kuoda.
Yeah.
So, okay, tumepata order yako, tunaenda kupika. Tupatie 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tunaenda tuambia after 1 hour.
And also another case is where you order for a food, but they tell you we currently don't have. So when you request, you must get a response. It might be positive or negative. So maybe a 404 is like error, page not found. It's not there. So you order for another thing, or go choose another one, another request. Tell the API, which is the waiter, to go and look for it. When he finds it, he will come back with it. Yeah. So here we have two systems. So this is an airport database. So the Fly Airways database allows you to enter your departure city, the date you will depart, your destination, and the date you will come back, and the cabin class. Maybe you are a business person, you go for the high class and all that. So it will send the request to the system, the airport system. It will check for according to the data you've given, it will process it and give you back the price. As you can see, the price is blank. So after it processes it, it will give you back the price and tell you this is this amount of cash. So that's a normal system. It has no API. And in this other case, it's a booking flight that checks all the available airports. Yeah. So you enter your date, just the same procedure. And then when you send the request, it will go to this Kenya Airways, Fly 540, Fly Sky, Fly Airways, and Skynet. It fetches the data and comes and pastes them here. So it will list them. This one costs this much. This one costs this much. This one costs this much. So that's where an API comes in. It goes and helps you out, do the thing. So an API basically helps devices, applications, and databases communicate with your application swiftly. Yeah. Any question from up to there? I'm speaking a lot. Yeah. This is short because, and if you are stuck, you must speak out. I'll still answer your question. So whenever you think of an API, just think of a waiter running back and forth between applications, devices, and databases to deliver and create connectivity. It puts the world at our fingertips. So there is no difference. Even if you're in wherever you are, Eskimos wanakuanga wapi huko? Huko mali wako. Sijui ka kuna net. Yeah, North Pole. Yeah, iko net. Yeah. So if they are there and you want to communicate with them and do the things, it's still possible thanks to APIs and technology. Thanks to Zuckerberg, thanks to Bill Gates, thanks to me, you know, no APIs. So do you understand that? Yeah, so if you have a question, you can just ask. I'm here to help. Yeah. Yeah.
In this case, when someone orders for food, the order goes through. That food never comes after.
Never comes as in. It doesn't come. It must come. But you will wait for it. So, yeah, says Abraham, unmute yourself.
Yeah, so like you order for food and you really don't get it. So in a real meaning, it's like, I mean, when you're talking about API, it's like, if I use this term, probably you guys can make a good analogy of it. It's like making a request but you don't get a response. Yeah? So in case you're developing, your application should be able to have something called timeout. Yes. So when the process has turned out, the way you need to handle the timeout.
Yeah, that's a good one. And
So, but in real world, is if you order and you don't get the food, you end up abusing waiters or you just check out. Yeah,
That's
but then I have another need. I borrowed from someone. Consider also an API like what we use every day. So consider your system as another application. Or consider your house as another application. How it happen. Then we have Kenya Power as another application. So how do you connect to Kenya Power? How do you connect your house to lighting? Or how do you connect your phone to power? Through a socket,
Yeah.
Consider socket like an
Yeah.
Like that is meaning that doesn't have a lot of technology like making some request and getting a those are two different independent systems.
You open your switch.
Yes, a switch.
But I think what Peter is saying, it's more of a problem on the server side.
Yeah.
Ndio
Yes,
unapatanga saa zingine kuna delays. In response is taking too long to come.
So, yeah. An example of such a case is when you request for a page and it keeps on loading. Yeah. So you're not getting the response. It might be that processing. You know when you come from when you request, it gets processed. Like in our case, it will come here, get processed. So this processing time is what determines the swiftness, how fast you'll get the response. Yeah. So if the food is being cooked, vimeanza, yeah, they will just tell you you got your request, you are processing it. Yeah. Your name, Brian. Yeah, Brian. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
If you have a food and your food is delayed, an explanation has to be given. Okay, you didn't order for this. Yeah. So in APIs, when you make a request, of course there'll be a response. Starting from 200. 200, the status is okay. You have 201. There are several 3 to 4.3 ways. Okay. 4 page is not found if you requested for a page. Yeah, so at least there are some response.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian. Brian Otieno, right? Yeah. Yeah, so thank you for that. So we had a question. Were you answered? Someone was explaining and then. Oh, you're good. Any other question? Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. Unmute yourself.
What is the main importance of APIs? Because you can do without them, right?
No, you can't. Yeah.
Yes,
You gave an example.
We can
do
live.
without
We can
APIs.
survive
But
without
then the
them.
thing here is we're creating a world of interconnectivity. So and having ubiquitous or ubiquitous or whatever the hell the name is.
We need space here.
Whatever the hell the name is, it's like we are completely we're
Able,
trying to interconnect devices, applications to be able to communicate with each other. So in such kind of a scenario, we can't do without APIs. Yes, but in a normal case, we can do without APIs. It's only that we'll be having independent stuff here and there. So you only have Getty alone, but Getty that cannot merge with someone. Yes.
so the thing is that we can survive. We can survive, but we can't
Yes, with the
live.
current world, it's nearly
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah. So any other question? Any question on APIs? What does API stand for? API. What does it stand for? Anyone? Yeah. Application. Yeah. I can't catch people here. There are no much questions we can ask. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Fun application. Elaborate. Can you start?
Presentation. One thing, okay, just by show of hands, So there is one. How many has ever worked with an API? How many has ever worked with API?
No, sir. Trevino, no, sir.
Okay, who has never heard of anything to do with API, has never worked with it, has no previous knowledge. So I want to explain about me. So in a normal developing like developer environment, you guys heard about requests, right? Kuko moja?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in a normal meeting, it will be like an independent application who wants to interact with another independent application. And the basis of the interaction is through request and response. In fact, we may be having even a single application, but that application is developed using an API. One of the ways it's usually being done is for security purposes. So that we find that application is specifically designed for backend, and the front end is purely working on the basis of the backend API. I don't know whether you guys are getting what I'm talking about. So for example, if application A wants to interact with application B to get your name, it will be like application A will use the API to request for your name from application B. Then you know what application B will do? Just trying to give a feedback, which is the response. From your application, you need to come up with a way of handling that response. So for example, if you get a response that your name is Cody, uh, like the name is Cody, but probably you don't want to display it like Code hivyo, unataka kuiweka ikuwe beautiful, kuipatia makeup. It's now upon you to do that from your own hand. You guys had JSON, right?
Yeah.
What JSON object are? So in most cases, responses are being received through a JSON format. So from your own application A, you need to come up with a way of handling the JSON format to really fit into. I think we'll really dive more into this when we go to the so that at least you can see how responses look like and how you need to handle those responses. Because for example, if you requested for your name, the application will not respond to you that have not found name code. For example, implementation will tell you a zero probably means not found. But you see, for a user, you cannot tell it as zero. The application should be able to understand a zero, which is not found, and a one it is found. So from your application, after you have received the zero, you need to process zero, display not found. Then I want to display found. Is that one clear?
Very, very clear. Thank you. Thank you. Question from people.
I don't know if this is the right time to say this, but somewhere yesterday, someone was talking about you said for any request there must be a response.
Yes, when it comes to APIs, in most cases, APIs are designed to give responses, no matter the case.
So is there a case where a response can get a response?
A response before getting a request.
Or let's say you sent a request earlier than the response comes. You receive a response, get another response again.
That is not usually the case. Okay, probably it might exist, but I didn't want to confirm that it exists because me personally, I've never worked with such kind of a scenario. It's like I've come to you, you are an independent team, and I want to get an information from you. Generally, I'm an independent person, so probably to simame hivi. Why the hell do you need to give me a response of what I've not actually asked?
So when you release a result,
Yes, so nitakuuliza sasa pita, alafu utanijibu.
what?
Exactly.
Sasa, then I give you again.
Yes, so that is very possible. Yes, that is very possible. Like for example, you if there need that handling multiple response. So for example, it first acknowledges, then processes, then acknowledges again. So that is very, very flexible.
I have to disagree with him.
With me.
Him.
Okay.
For every request, there must be a response. For every response, it must have a request. Huwezi pata response bila request in the first place.
They are
What are you responding to?
So
That's another request umemtumia. Ata reply.
Umemtumia request,
Na sasa yeye hizi respond.
no.
Kitu
What I think is there are two ways in which responses can be sent. There's one-on-one. Sasa kwa sawa. But there are certain scenarios whereby we have bigger applications that use different processing methods. I know this is very deep, and I shouldn't really talk about this one here, especially for the guys who have fast knowledge. So, can I just conclude this? So let's consider application A, which is talking to application B, right? So I'll tell you. I need all Abrams. I need this Abrams, so I need all Abrams. But then this processing is done in batches. So for example, Tapata BA, B, and probably BC. I'm specifically talking about this because I've worked on similar applications personally. So BA is designed to receive the request. So when BA receives this request, it will reply back. Okay, it's like an acknowledgement. Hello, I've received your request. We are processing to get application. Then when it is processed, remember it's BP that does the processing. So when all this thing comes through BP will send you a response. And your application should be in a capacity to handle both the response. Yes.
No, but BA ndio receive response. Si lazima itumie BB request.
Yeah, so the application is B. Okay, but it is divided in. Like I said, there are different processing schemes. There is FIFO, first in, first out. LIFO, last in, first out. There are some but then most things like this. So you will find that when request comes, they are pipelined. What I mean by pipeline, it means they are got into a block. That's up. This is B. So when you repeat the first in a top. So yako kuongeza inajenga hapa. Yako ikiongezeka inajenga hapa. But let's say our B is now here. And I receive a lot for the pipe. So when it reaches B, which does the processing, gives another response. Yes.
What did you say? You said when it reaches B. It does what? It gives another response.
Yes. It must send another response.
So B.
Yeah.
Yes. So
it's a request to B. Then the response
goes to A. Yeah. So every response must have a request.
The reason why I did not want to call it like a response is because of how okay, these things are different depending on a development architecture. Yes, something like that.
Within the document object, when you file events, what happens is your system runs and then it calls the main loop at the bottom and then it comes back again. So what this is trying to say is that every request must have a response. This is really just the case, right?
Yeah.
But the transfer can process parallel processing so that you can kill multiple people.
But even though it's parallel requests, if there are 3 of them, I'll receive 3 responses.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
Okay,
4.
so can I give you guys what can this probably could make sense. Yes, so
Please.
we worked on an application which was to find multiple processes. So for example, if I trigger it's like a machine, we are programming machines, how they work, but from a web interface. So this is what it does. When you initiate a process for mixing, what do you call it? For ingredients, for chemicals.
What?
Okay. No, okay, fine. If I go to put it, I would probably using another name, but I wanted to give what you're actually doing. So when you initiate a process through a click of a button, this processes, gives, like, it launches after given sections of time. So like for example, there is a chemical called polyphenol. So polyphenol is the first one which is to be added to water. So when polyphenol has been added to water and the machine detects polyphenol has been added, it gives you a response. Polyphenol has been added successfully. The right amount. You will see it on your web interface. Okay. Then after like 2 minutes, you are again going to see another pop-up which will chloro something, whatever the hell it is. After 2 minutes, chlorophenol should be added. Okay. So based on your first response, does it mean that this has been done? Because by the time you click this button here, it does a request. The reason why I'm saying it does a request is because these are 2 different finance systems.
Oh.
Remember, this is on a web interface. This is somewhere connected to the server which is controlling the machines.
Okay. Before you go down to this the biggest thing is, the biggest concept is that whenever my browser requests something, it expects to be told anything.
Yes.
That's it. So whatever happens at the back, itafanyika. Okay, I request something, ume request waiter food. So, then akuje na sikwambie anything aende. A food in. That's not how browsers work. So he'll tell you hata chapeana. That's a response. And when the food is correctly, italetwa kwako. Now, when the browser requests for something, akaambiwa sawa tumeipata, tutashughulikia, then we get back to you. Yeah. Tumeipata is already a response. After that, the server will talk to your browser, imwambie, by the way tulinituma hiyo. So, now to us, yes, it is a response, but we give it as a request. Juu alisha respond. Tuliambia, let's get to that. But to do it, sometimes the response ilikuwa ni sawa nimepata. Then later on atakwambia, oh by the way tulikuwa tunataka tuma mtoto kwa duka, ndarudi duka. Aende skari sio. Kwa skari atamwambia duka atamwambia, ndio ambie mazee inafika in like 20 minutes nitaleta. Mtoto atarudi na response. Sio. Response yake itakuwa amesema imeisha. It doesn't mean that you got what you wanted, but you'll be told. Now, if you put that, is that a response? Sasa askari level, is that the response? Okay. Sasa italetwa baadaye. Sasa mtu aduka ametuma sample lake atulete.
Yes.
Unajua that's another reason altogether. Wewe ulishasema mimi nilishapata skari. Azin nilishaambiwa skari italetwa. Then unaendelea kufanya kitu. Ile time skari itafika, itashukuru. But I requested, I sent my kid and came back. The kid is like this stupid request. Hallelujah. If the kid alitumwa na abaki huko akingoja skari, ungekuwa na mgonjwa.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing.
No,
So
okay.
by the time he brings with the sugar, according to you, do you treat that one as a response or another request?
Yeah. That was a topic ya jana ilitumia hapo ili try kufigure out nini. But ujue ukituma mtoto anafaa arudi akwambie amesema analeta. That is the response. Ile transfer itakuja. Wewe faendelea kufanya vitu zako.
Yeah, so whatever we are talking about,
fanye
whatever we are talking about can be meaning. But I remember I took part in the development of this application directly. There's no any more request that you are sending from me to interact with them. So when responses will come, we used to handle them. So our listening was listening for any other response that will be sent. Then we had like HTTP listener, which would be listening for any response from the at any given time.
any request.
Yes.
You listen to request.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Any incoming request. Any incoming request. Exactly. So it was constantly listening. So that was how we really.
You know, Lisa, how do you deal with unitumia something back? Yes. 5 minutes. How do you send it back to you? Because the system will go down, it may take 3 minutes we process, then utarudisha. It doesn't mean user angoje kidogo. Yeah. Ushai process ukaimaliza. How do you send it back? It cannot be a request. Otherwise ingekuwa na involve. I treat it as a request.
Okay. Yeah, this thing is very confusing by the way. But then for now I think we don't have to. It's very rare.
My main thing hapo ilikuwa in short as in nimepata request na respond hiyo ndio shida yangu. Yeah. So thank you guys. Thank you a lot. So I'm kind of
So what are you presenting?
Nataka kupitia now everything else about this.
Okay.
yeah.
So are you connected to the internet?
Nani yako nafana kuja karibu na machine?
Si fungue mlango.
Nini wewe?
Hii kitu inanichoma. Hii machine inanichoma.
Mbona imekuwa moto? Ni server fulani na run.
Sawa na
For real.
No, I just Yeah, we can do it.
So unaweza recap ya gate ya nani kimalizia.
Kwani si hatuna majina?
Okay.
Thank you.
Jina craft is a craft.
Compare like that.
Glado.
Nigeti.
Nigeti.
Mimi ndo nimesign up Kapodi.
Oh, umenini? Umeweka microphone.
Oh.
Hola. Hola. Unanisikia? Haunisikii? Sisikiki? Nasikika? Vizuri? Vizuri. Oh. So naongea. Unanisikia? So tangu morning tumekuwa tukiongelea HTTP request response. Nani hakuelewa anything aulizie before we go deep? Anything you just want a clarification, yenye umewahi sikia tu mahali to discuss. Linda? Who ask? Ask that question. Ile ingine ya B&B, Uber, yeah. Rabbit hole nilikuwa na complicated systems inakuanga interconnected, so but Airbnb is complicated. Airbnb is another Rails application. Inatengenezwa na Ruby on Rails. Na hainaga requests nyingi sana kama Facebook. Swali lingine? Places gani mtu tumia APIs maybe? Any place where you can use an API? E-commerce. So other than Storia payments, why do you need API? So tuseme umetengeneza app yako, logging in to nini? Ile ni OAuth. So tuseme umetengeneza app yako yenye ina manage calendars, for example events, sindio? Then hii app yako yenye ina manage events, una allow developers to create their own app that can use your app. Naelewa? Mtu ametengeneza app mahali yenye inaweza tumia app yako kutengeneza events kwao.
Like Telegram.
Exactly, kama Telegram wakifanya hizo vitu. Alafu kuna hii ingine ya nani ambaye sema allow Instagrams to unauliza authorize, alafu ukisha authorize itakwenda kupostia vitu. Umefanya hivyo? Instagram ama Twitter ama Facebook? Login with Facebook hiyo ni OAuth. Hiyo ni OAuth, but kuna ile sasa unaikubalia, unaweza kama venye tulifanya Buffer. Buffer inatumia API juu tunaandika post mara moja, then itaipeleka Twitter, ipeleke Facebook, ipeleke nini? This app we want this, access to vitu guys. Allow so hii itafanya through OAuth, ate? So wanafanya OAuth, then wanatumia sasa the API. So tuseme umeconnect kitu na GitHub, itatumia API ya GitHub kufanya hizo vitu. Kama umeconnect Twitter, itatumia API ya Twitter kupost tweets zako. API na OAuth, mimi natafuta ile pen. When you're online, sio zaidi. wenye wataochi YouTube baadaye. Umelock kwa nini yangu? Wow. So auth inakuallow ku sign in, nothing else. Sign in with Gmail or auth. Then APIs now ni ile amjai authorize app yako ipost on your behalf. Tuka hiyo. Mostly watu tumia social media. So that ukiandika mahali itapostiwa baadaye. Acha nionyeshe example. So hebu endeni kwa nini wenye wako Twitter, angalia, enda kwa page yetu Twitter podhq. HQ online almost kila place hapo mwisho. So enda Twitter uangalia podhq, enda tu kwa hiyo profile page yetu, then ukiangalia hapa while pia uko hapo, nataka kupost kitu to Twitter. Hii ni buffer. Ndio. Hii ni website inaitwa buffer. Naweza andika acha niende kwa calendar. Alafu nichukue link. Copy link location. I hope mna follow along. Hii ni buffer, sindio? Naandika hizi vitu kwa buffer mkiona. For hackathon. Hashtag. Kisumu. You can join us, sindio? Alafu na paste your link or watch later. Okay. Then napeana hii link ya YouTube. Naiweka hapo. So niko buffer. Hapa kwa buffer nitumie hiyo. Acha ni post immediately, sindio? Share now kwa buffer. Actually acha nipeleke both huku na huku. So nitapost share now. Niko buffer, nimeshare now. If you go to our page, check if it's there. Yeah, Twitter. Check hapo. Iko hapo, sindio? So how did buffer post to Twitter? Through Twitter's API. Twitter ni wewe. Isha kuja, sindio? Iko hapo. Nataka tu mconfirm. Nataka tusonge pamoja. Iko? Sawa. Pia nataka tusonge pamoja juu kuna mtu atauliza swali ya vitu tushakawa. Na hizi vitu tunaenda kufanya ndio zitatuallow kufanya the API. Mwanzo please ulizia sahihi so that when we start tutaenda vizuri haraka haraka. Ukienda Facebook yetu pia, Facebook si niliweka buffer hapa. Hizi naweza enda Facebook. Don't read any post za watu si zangu. Internet iko slow hivi. Nafanya na kitu that anything in one container cannot see the other one in the other container. so that nikilogin alafu ni login bado na nini imesha bado najisikia
Somebody
Brian. Thank you. Asante Brian. So nilikuwa nasema inakuwa la kubrowse in different a container is an environment. So ukiona the purple thing, purple, that's a different container. Na hiyo inakuanga ya job. So whenever I go to Twitter on the purple one, itanipeleka kwa Twitter account ya job. One itanipeleka kwa Twitter account normal yangu. So ukikuja hapa utapata ndio hii. So I can go to Twitter in no container. Anata iko signed in probably. Unaona hii iko signed in. But on this container niko signed in now. So you can have different containers on Firefox. Ni Firefox thing. Inakujanga na Firefox. I think sikizi inakuja na by default. So ukiangalia Facebook na kwanga nimeweka kwa ya how creepy it is. So container yake inaitwa stalker. So that saa zingine umeenda kwa website una browse Facebook, then unaenda Amazon una check, ama unaenda Jumia unaangalia kitu poa. Ukirudi Facebook unapata hii advert hapo kana. Si ndio? So hiyo ndio kilifanya nifanye hivi. So saa hizi Facebook haiwezi on any of my other websites. So nikibrowse Facebook inafikiria muende na Facebook. So hii haitanionyesha juu huyu ndiye ako kwa stalker peke yake. Haiwezi jua site nyingine yenye naenda. So iko wapi? Ni hapa, but basically hii buffer ile post through the API ya Twitter na ya Facebook simply because of the export. So today ndio hii hapa. Published by buffer 3 minutes ago. Hapo sawa. So tumeona API at least inaweza fanya nini. So for today tunataka kufanya M-pesa. Tunataka kufanya M-pesa APIs. So an M-pesa API is a structured documentation that M-pesa as so wanatuambia huku ukitaka ku-withdraw pesa sema hivi na hivi na hivi. Sawa. Ukitaka kuongeza pesa fanya hivi na hivi na hivi. So it is structured instructions on how you can achieve something. Hiyo ndio API. So they have their systems and they give you instructions on how you can achieve kitu unataka. Implement it for you. Otherwise hautaijua venye nafanya because no APIs are the same. Kila mtu ana vituko zake. Tunaongea na Telcom sahii, tunangoja watupatie documentation yao ya T-Cash. Airtel documentation yao ya Airtel Money. Because hazitawahi kuwa same. Ukishajua hii, si ati ni automatic umejua hii. They respond in different ways, they respond with different messages. Sio? Hata nyinyi majirani wao watu ushinda wakia mama majirani different. Kuna yule mwenye unaweza kuongelesha, na anakujibu, sio? Kuna yule mwingine anasema unahonga mtu wa kelele. Sio? Ujirani mpya. So different people, different things. So Airtel watakwambia different thing, Telcom watakwambia different thing, PayPal watakwambia different thing, Stripe watakwambia different thing. So they have to document it. So now the only thing we are going to do today is to understand the documentation. For you to work with APIs, you must understand the documentation. Acha nionyeshe example ya API. Acha nitafute GitHub API. How long do I have to talk? 30 minutes from now. Someone please count down. So, in your GitHub API, wanakwambia in your schema. So if you send us a URL request with hizi vitu zote, blank fields are included and null. So they explain everything to you. Get to this, detailed instructions. Watakwambia kila kitu. Unacheki auth token day. So you send this, you include an authorization token. Unaipatia hiyo token, then you send that request to this. Itakupatia a response. In your GitHub, it's totally different from your M-pesa. Totally different from your Twitter. Tuangalie Twitter. Twitter API, yes. Only Linda did a tweet. Oh no way. Understanding what's happening. Ninafanyika hapa. Oh, ndio hii sasa. Ona ya Twitter. Twitter search API inakaa hivi. Hii ni ya kusearch. Hii ni ya ads, engagement, DMs. So search API inakaa hivi. Ita return response an array of a tweet JSON. So inakurudishia kitu kai statuses. Hii ni JSON. Mnakumbuka JSON from Lucy's. Hii ni JSON response. Sindio? So you either pass it ama do whatever you want. It can be this complicated. I mean, it's about to simple with a key and a value. What if? Bado na scroll tu. To mob. Ni vitu tu repeated. Then ads API yao inakaa hivi. Tuko pamoja? Different APIs, different things. So you must read through the APIs to understand. Now, for today, tunataka kuachieve something. Yeah. Should we show the end result, then we explain what happens? Let's show the end result, then explain how it happened. Pole pole. Sawa. Sasa nitataka tuombe bado na work. Things fail. So ls then the trial. So this is a trial application for I've started up a server. It's listening in port 4567. So 4567. So this server venye na listen hivi, nitaenda kwa browser niende kwa port 456. Mnakumbuka story ya ports tukiexplain malango na nini? So tutaenda kwa port 4567. Can split this. Oh, something I just split. So nitakuja kwa localhost 4567. Localhost 4567 itarenda form. Kwa hii form naweza weka phone number ya mtu. Nani ako na line ya Safaricom? 254 725 alafu 69 inafanyika 60 2. So nataka kutoa one bob kwa account yako. Sawa. Nikifinya submit. Sawa. So fungua simu yako. Alafu ukipata anything utuambie kwa hiyo screen, sawa? So nitafinya submit. Inamaanisha nime request kitu, si ndio? Alafu ikaniambia your payment is being processed. Sawa. Do you want to pay one bob too? Okay, sawa. So ukiweka pin ita go through, sipoweka ni sawa. So unaweza cancel. Sawa, ita process bado. Nani tena anataka kutry? Ona kaina. Si lazima unaweza cancel. Itakukata na kutumia SMS. Itarifandiwa, hiyo pesa itarudishwa. Foite 612. Okay, your payment is being processed. Kuna pop up. Unaitishwa pin. So it's that simple. Hakuna enda paybill leka hii, so inarahisishia mwenye business kazi ya kushinda ukiambia mtu hii ndio paybill namba yetu. Sawa. Ofa. Brand number 0723. Unaweza cancel. Ate? No, haina. Submit. Akora 10,000. Tutoe 10,000. 0719. Ngoja. 19513 555. Sijui tukutoe 10,000. Tukutoe 500. So tuna submit, alafu tusome nini itafanyika. What happens to your phone? Nothing yet. Send too many requests in a short time. Imetokea? Ndio inasema? So index. So unawezeka ngomano zako kesho midnight. Yes. 24 hours. So that's part of the API yenye tunatry to explain leo. Sawa. Safcom wanaita STK push. So the way STK push works is that we create an application that sends requests to M-pesa through their API. So M-pesa processes our request, pushes to the user, inangoja user ampatie pin. I'm going to draw this. So hii ndio tunataka kufanya leo. Nahonga WAPPM. Online whiteboard. So hapa, what you're going to do today, this is our application. Sindio? With our application, this is M-pesa. So we are going, what did I do now? In M-pesa. So we are going to send a request to M-pesa. Tukwambia please kata jamaa pesa. Sindio? Then M-pesa alikubali ama alikata. Atakuwa amerespond. Sawa. So once we send the request to M-pesa, M-pesa itajisort na huyu jamaa. So tumchore hapa. Tumpatie kala tofauti. Hii ni simu. So it's in your view. So M-pesa will send you a request pia. Alafu utaijibu. So we request M-pesa. M-pesa talks to you. You talk back to M-pesa. M-pesa talks back. The most simplified version of what's happening. I like the way watu simplify vitu alafu ukiona code unashtuka. So hiyo ni tu kuprepare ati kuna code inakuja hapo mbele. Every HTTP request must have a response. So every time tuna request, we are waiting for a response. Every single time. Otherwise, browser yako itahang ikingoja ngoja. So let's go to M-pesa documentation and look at how we do such things. So now M-pesa calls this STK push. Na STK push ndio tunafanya leo. STK push ni ya straight away eka pin tumemaliza. Sawa? So tunaweza enda kwa docs za M-pesa. Kwa Safaricom site yao. Inakaanga hivi. Karibu hivi. Aki wamechange jana usiku. Lakini ni sawa. Get that. Wanaweza kuwa wametuweza. So tuangalie hii process yote. If you've never done M-pesa APIs before, please go through the getting started guide. Sawa, pole pole watakuonyesha how to create an application. So the first thing you need to do, sign up, create your test application. Sawa. Ukisha create yenye sisi tulisha create, mimi niko nayo kwa account yangu. Then unaweza ona details za hiyo app yenye umecreate. Now you can connect to API. So there are different APIs. Mnakumbuka ya Twitter kulikuwa na ads, kulikuwa na search, hivyo hivyo, si ndio? For M-pesa kuna ya kugenerate token. Goja. Kuna client to business, business to client, business to business, lipa na M-pesa na reversal. Hii ni ya kureverse. Sawa? Now, si tunaenda kuconcentrate kwa lipa na M-pesa API. Hiyo ndio hiyo inatuallow straight away unaweka pin. Tuwezi fanya hizi vitu zote in such a short time. So far, mko sawa? Deno? Mko sawa? Sabiti? Sawa. Okay. Randomly bet? Sawa kabisa. So, let's read on lipa na M-pesa API. Okay. Hizi vitu zote uzisome, yes? Ati? Hiyo tufanye hata sahi. Tutafanya tu. Nataka tu kuwapeleka haraka haraka ndio mko na idea ya kitu tunaenda kufanya next. Sawa. So tufanye lipa na M-pesa, tushaona iko na story ya STK push, known as STK push. Then the B2B process is explained below. B2B ni business na ni M-pesa. The user hayuko involved. Business to business. User hayuko involved bado. So wana explain what happens. So the business ina set up the data for the request to be sent. Safaricom kuna a set of data that ina expect kutoka kwako. Ukiipatia hiyo data vizuri, then itaiprocess. Ukiipatia vibaya itakwambia it is wrong. Sawa? Now the API ita receive your request yako na ina validate internally. Then sends you an acknowledgement response. Tumetuma hii request. Acha ni zoom. Tulituma hii request. The business sends data in the request. No, sets the data in the request, alafu inaituma. Step 1. Sawa. Step 2, the API inaipata alafu ina respond immediately. Request response. Sawa. The API then sends an STK push to the target step. Hii tushafanya, then huyu atatuma huko. Sinda. Sawa. Step 3 ni huyu atatuma huko. Alafu huyu ajibu. Hii ndio step 3. The API sends a push, the customer's phone. It has to be online and unlocked to receive the request. So unafaa advise user umwambie, please ensure ukome ngoje kuweka pin. As you've seen, submit ikifanyika kwako. Na yes. Yes, as long as in iko kwa simu inaweza work. That's online. So the customer payment via Sabiti ulikonfirm. We need your 500. So it confirms the payment via the message displayed on screen. Either enters the PIN or cancels. Then the API again is sunny step 4. API no, step 4 ilikuwa kuweka PIN. Step 5 ni it receives the response. If the response is negative inamaanisha either amecancel ama wrong PIN. It cancels the transactions and sends a corresponding callback to the initiating third party using a callback URL. So too many things to be explained here in the initial request. So initial request ilikuwa hii. In our initial request, part of the requirements ilikuwa umeniambia nitoe mtu pesa, si ndio? Nikimaliza kumtoa nikupate wapi? Nipate karibu na ile takataka pale, si ndio? Ama nipate Patels, ama nipate. So hiyo ndio kinaitwa callback URL. Nikupate wapi nikitaka kukuongelesha ati nimemaliza. That is the callback URL. Umeelewa callback URL? Umeelewa? Na nimeona uko offline. Umeja the moment uko offline, tutakuwa tunasumbuana while tunafanyia kitu. So if you don't understand anything, tafadhali uliza. Because hii kitu sitaki kuwapatia preview ya code. But mdomo ni rahisi. So tuendelee. After user ameweka hiyo password, itaturudishia sasa something. Hii hapa. Hii ndio anaongelea. Hii to our callback URL. Sawa. Atatuongelesha to our callback URL at this point. So it talks back to the third party via a preferred callback URL in the initial request. We information timeout due to not entering the PIN, which is usually 1 minute 30 seconds. So ukingoja 1 minute 30 seconds kama kuna anything Subform itakwambia hakurespond. So ukipata ati yako respond unaweza mwambia in our previous request haukuweka PIN. Please wait on your phone, there will be a pop-up now. Response yenye atapata. Is not having an SDK update. Update inakuanganika ni program ina run kwa SIM card. SDK. So the return request was cancelled. Alisema to cancel hii strike. Another transaction is already underway. So kama amebuy na anabuy tena haitawaka. So ukirudishiwa alafu uambiwe huu jamaa bado ana buy kitu, just format something nice, umwambie ni kama kuna kitu ulikuwa umebuy, ikiisha tuma request tena. Sawa. Utuambie tena tukutoe hiyo pesa. Those are the phone. Now if the PIN is correct, it means the customer will accept. Ita forward that to M-pea. The PIN is correct, ita ni tu sawa. Now M-pesa ita process request yako, alafu itakwambia through your callback URL again, itakwambia the callback can either be a success or a failure, just like the normal C2B. There are no repeat calls for failed callbacks, and thus API is unable to send callback to you. So achana na hii, tufanye tu hadi hapa. Hadi hapo tumeelewa the process. We request to M-pesa. Forgive my handwriting. Kuandika na mouse si mchezo. Hii ni sisi, hii ni M-pesa, sio? So we request M-pesa, tafadhali toa huyu jamaa pesa. There's a way lazima to specify, tunataka tutoe this amount, ni nani, namba yake ni hii, sisi ni akina nani, si ndio? So hizo zote TIN number na nani, there's a way tutai package hapa. Sawa. Tukisha package itakuja hapa, M-pesa itatuambia sawa nimepata. Na hii red. Request response. Sawa nimepata. Sawa. Then after shatuambia sawa nimeipata, nitatuma to huyu. imwambie oh by the way nani anataka kutoa 500 cancel, ndio Sabiti akicancel tutaambiwa amecancel. Wagola alikubali ataambiwa. So whatever comes back to you, you need a way of. Now, if Sabiti cancel and it comes back to our application, to us it is a request through our callback URL. Because by the way, callback URL is a fancy term for tunapatana wapi. So when you're done, when huyu ameweka ama hajaweka ama whatever it is, where can you reach me? So si najua mnaitishwanga namba zenu. Si wanaume naongelesha madem. Nitakwambianga nitakupata aje, si ndio? Inaanza na hiyo statement, nitakupata aje. Simpate phone number yako. Si ndio? So mkitaka kupatana baadaye sana pita. Unampatia namba so that situmie tu hiyo word inifurahishe. Baadaye unampatia namba ndio yako call back. So that's your callback URL. So hiyo sasa imeeleweka. So mtu akikwambia callback URL, it's a URL that you define in your application that handles anything. So ile siku yenye ata callback, you decide what to tell them or what to do. Kama alikuwa anakaa vizuri, unatoka nje kidogo, unatoka kwa kitchen, unaingia kwa balcony, unaongea uking'ang'anya hivi. Kama alikuwa anakaa paya, unaweza unakuwa mkali kwa simu. So depending on the type of depending on tunai handle vile tunataka. Sawa? Kwa pamoja hadi hapo. So any clarification that you need? So let's see, how do we package this? Let's go, how do we package our request to M-pesa? Kuja hapa. Yeah. So you need the following headers. You send a request to this particular, in for testing purposes, on a sandbox.sap. So in your test. So you send a request, a HTTP post request. Remember, get is session. Unakumbuka? So you send a post request to this URL. Sawa? With the following HTTP headers. You remember HTTP headers? Sasa imekata hapo. So you send to this URL, a post request to this URL with the following headers. Unamwambia who's it to, then authorization is, there's some access token that you need to put in. Not with these braces, not with these square brackets, but utaiweka hapo. Content type unasema ni JSON. Let me say, Lucy, morning session. Then the request body ni hizi. We need a business shortcode. Then the transaction type, amount, party. Now, all the nonsense if they don't explain what. It is upon them to tell us what they are. And they had options of not calling it business shortcode. They decide what they want. It is their API. We read. So that's what we are trying to do here. I try to follow their knowledge. If you want to do an SDK push, send a post request using the following headers and the body of the request URL. Only post requests have bodies. So for get request, you can only add params through the question mark on the URL. Yeah, the query string. Thank you. Completely. So this URL post request have the body to be this. Now they are explaining what these are. A business shortcode is the organization initiating the request. Sabitu liambiwa ati 7 something wanataka kukata pesa, si ndio? Kitu kama hiyo, si ndio? So tutaweka hiyo shortcode hapo. Hiyo ni team number. Kama hii yenye kwa hapa. Then the password, they are explaining a password is a base 64 encoded value of the concatenation. Concatenation ni kushikanisha, another fancy word. shikanisha hii na hii. Kama food. Ana concatenate food. Anakula rice, chapo, ndengu, beans, nyama. Alafu anaweka kapilipili hapo. So hiyo ni concatenation, si ndio? So ita concatenate the short code yenye tuko nayo hapa. A passkey unapewa. Unaambiwa this is your agent code. Ukikuja na utani timestamp pia tuta generate inaongelewa hapa chini. So you base 64 encode concatenation hizi vitu tatu. So you concatenate, shikanisha, then encode. That will generate a password. So you attach it here.
I found out that it's concatenation. Concatenation.
Concatenation?
Yeah.
No way. This is concatenate.
Yeah, concatenate.
No.
No, yeah.
What about concer? Long, complicated things. Now, kuna swali by this so far. So far, so easy. So at this point, tuta generate kitu na hivi tukibase 64 encode. Encode ni kama namba anaongea na mtu mzazi akiwa nataki mzazi ashikanishe ni nini? Hakim. Mzazi yuko utaki kufanya haya jitakuwa suspicious. So unafaa ujibu but in a way yenye mtaelewa, si ndio? Hiyo ni encode. So in software kuna venye unaweza encode message useme the other person tu ndiye anaweza elewa. On call, the other person mwenye ako on call, the other side ndiye anaelewa peke yake, si ndio? Sasa zingine unataka kusema ati we tuko kwa meza tunakula na kukula, si ndio? But tutaki kusema hivyo juu utaenjoyiwa. So mnakonga tu na some weird words zenye mnatumia. Auze mara Biblia utaki watu wajue. So whichever the encoding, a timestamp is used for encoding above with the following format: the year, the month, the day, the hour, minutes, and the seconds. So you have to get a timestamp in this format. Hizi hata zinafaa kwa 4, sio? Hizi hata zinafaa kwa 4. Hazifai kwa 3. Yeka hizi 3 utashangaa venye vitu zinakataa. So the transaction type ni what exactly are you trying to do? Sindio? One explain transaction types all over kwa nini yao. The amount self-explanatory. Hata wamesema. Party A, the phone number of the customer. The amount is 500, party A ni yes, sindio? Party B is the credit. Kuna debit na credit. Unataka kupeleka wapi? Pesa ni ka energy. You can never destroy, sindio? So hiyo ndio pesa. Na expect ikitoka hapa iende kwa huyo. Hata ile pesa ulipatia makanga asubuhi labda shanunua na soda. Inaenda ikienda. Inazunguka kila mahali. So hii pesa pia inatolewa kwa huyu inapelekwa kwa huyu. Then phone number same as party A. Now why do we have phone number and party A? Okay, they know. But wamesema ni same na party A, the debit party. Sida. So tutaweka phone number hiyo jamaa mara for weird reasons. Callback URL tunapatana wapi, sida? When you're done, how do you get back to my application? By sending a request to this application. That's why nilikuwa naita request and not a response. So it was a weird thing. Just send a request to me, I'll handle the rest. So account reference, this is the value of the customer would have put as account number on their phone, transaction on their phone. So if I go through your process, si mnajua venye mtu ambiwa eka hii number. So inarahisisha hiyo kazi. I think that's it for tunasema nini inafanyika, alikuwa anabai viatu, alikuwa anafanya hii, alikuwa anafanya hii na hii. So it's you to describe hiyo swali up to there. Hiyo ni request yenye tunasema. Tukisha send request, immediately M-pesa gets back to us with a response that looks like this. Immediately. So tumetuma, if it was a success watatuambia merchant ID request nini, response code ikiwa 0 ujue kila kitu kwa poa. Wata describe alafu the message. So whenever kuna response code ya 0 ujue for Safaricom, not everyone. Whenever kuna response code ya 0 ujue ni kuzuri. Now note that the request I think itanirudia tu kwa nimesema. Now ini immediately when kwa tumesema. Then Safaricom tumetuma request. I'm repeating again. Repeating. Tumetuma in your body yenye tunataka kudiscuss to hawa, si ndio? Then immediately wakatuambia na hii. Wakatujibu na hii. Immediately. Sawa, wakatujibu na hii. Then sasa hao wata initiate call to the customer aeke na afanye nini. Wakimalizana na customer atanitumia kitu through the callback URL. Hiyo kitu atanitumia through the callback. This is another JSON. So in my callback URL nitapata kitu kinakaa hivi. Now after sending the callback and assuming the customer has accepted your request, then itakaa hivi. Italetwa hivi. Name the value, name ni the value, hivyo hivyo. Sawa, ndio hii 0 inamaanisha success. Data itakupatia information about hii jamaa, so utachukua phone number yake na amount na nini venye unataka, so you do whatever you want now. That's the M-pesa idea. Now let's go to the code. Sinda, na kuna swali hadi hapo before tuingie. Ati? Nimeboeka aje? Tunaenda kwa code before tuende kwa hiyo code. So unfortunately or fortunately in computer world there are, okay, in Kenya how many tribes ngapi? 43. The Uhuru's tribe. According to Uhuru tuko 43, si ndio? Si alisema Wahindi ni tribe. So tuko 44. Mimi nimekuwa nikiassume tuko 42. Tribe moja. Otherwise kama ni kama ni the Waluya yenye tunajua, I think tuko 52. So hata kwa programming kuna vile there's so many languages zenye ziko kwa baili juu, sindio? Now we code mostly in Ruby because we are comfortable in Ruby and we can do things fast in Ruby. Previously we worked and tested with the Node using Express framework. Iliwork. Siliwork na Node. Yeah, we got the callback na Node. But for our sanity purposes and for us to be able to debug any error, tulifanya na Ruby. Juu JS kuna vitu zingine saa zingine wazi nakataa tu. So avoid your path. So now in Ruby we normally do test driven development. You write your test yenye ina confirm a certain scenario ilikuwa ina work. So unasema so that uko sure application yako ita work hata vitu zikichange. Tuko sure itatuma hiyo request na response mahali. Na iki break it. Now in this Ruby thing tulitumia Sinatra it's a simple web server, ni kama Express, ni kama Flask, kama what of PHP. Tuambie your simplest web framework, the simplest ever yenye inanga complications. The simplest, usiseme Laravel na kina nani. But unaweza equate to Django, Rails, ndio. So it's that's too much nini. Juu sisi kitu tunataka ni kuhandle request, nothing else. Ndio. Yeah, actually naweza fanya to the procedural one kwa PHP if you wish. So for us tutafanya test driven. Now in our test driven tutafanya, I'll show you the code. Meja mtafanyangi vitu live juu itakata. For some reason sio siko haitawaka. So tushaifanya. Ati? Inakwanga hivyo. So we'll do the test. Now what the test will do, first of all, it will behave as if it is sending request to this. Behave as if inasend a post request to this URL. Alafu ina act ni kama imepata this response. Hii inaitwa kumock. You mock a request and a response. So, assume ulituma hii request, then for success, response ilikuwa hii. Inakaa hivi. We are assuming. We don't send the actual request to Safaricom. Juu, for testing such a thing, we assume that we sent it successfully and ikarudisha successfully. Now this is how to set it up. So nilitumia web mock for Ruby. This is for purely mocking HTTP request, web mock. So now, not getting so much into the documentation, but I explain. So we set it up hivi. We set up AdSpec kwanza. AdSpec itakuja na spec helper. Si lazima uelewe the details sasa. So saizi ni juju. Memaniza. Asante. So tuta initiate kitu alafu tutengeneze spec helper. Then kwa spec helper tuta stub request. Now stubbing request ni kusema assume hapa. Stub request, assume I sent a post request to this with a body, no matter the content. Please respond if. So concentrate on line 58. Nani make a line numbers, whatever. So concentrate kwa line 58. Hapa. So in assume tulituma hiyo request, then it return status 200. The body, there's another module, Ruby module, inaitwa Servcom responses. Sawa. Then inaitwa request received. Sawa. Ndio hapa. Servcom response. The request received ni JSON, ina convert to JSON immediately. Sawa. Ukiangalia ni same thing na hii. So tuna assume tulituma the request na hii ikakuwa response. Hiyo ni kumock. Assume, we assume tu ili happen. Sawa. Hiyo ndio kitu tunaiambia. Assume the request ili come through na ukaijibu na hii. Assume tuli request for an access token ukatujibu na hii. So there's one point yenye tutamock an access token because we need to generate the access token. But to avoid kugo to nini. So in testing, mwenye alipotea atasema iko wapi hiyo? Nilita app spec. So uki set up the first scenario for the test ni ili kwa tu ya kutest kama vitu zinawaka. Get home, then expect a response to be okay. Kumaanisha at least kuna home. So you can go to home. The next one, if you have invalid request with access token that is expired, that is invalid, you should at least inform the user the problem with payments. This test, as you complete, test that at least unafaa uandike confirm that kila kitu so complete. The tests that were complete ni hii a valid request. So before every test, assume that you're giving the phone number and an amount. Post any post request to /order. Sindio? Unaenda order. Sawa. Then unaipatia ini request body. Hii params. Hii request body. Mnakumbuka venye tulifanya hii ya kwanza? Hii ndio kitu tunatry ku. Hii ndio kitu ni kama tunafanya. Hii ndio tunatry kufanya. Tunatry kuipatia phone number na amount alafu tuna submit. Hiyo ndio hii. Phone number na amount alafu tuna submit to order. Sawa. Then order itapata hiyo, tuna assume ita respond with code 0. So we expect our last response ikuwe na code 0. Kumaanisha iko successful. Si mnakumbuka Staffcom akireply na response code ya 0, then success. So we are testing that ita respond na 0. Sawa. Hii response code yao ni hii hapa. Hii ni yao ndio tunatest kama iko poa. So tunatest kama iko 0 na if iko 0 expect the status to be 0. Another test yenye ilikuwa iandikwe ni it should inform the user anafaa ngoje payment inakuwa processed. That is the test. So this is how you normally do TDD. But time haikutosha kufanya the test driven thing. So kuna code yenye iko straight as in iko na kila kitu ina work. Angalia hapa. Whenever you have a problem with access token, since hatuna test, hatutajua inafailia wapi. So debugging inakuwa issue. And we faced that problem before. Haujui shida iko wapi. So if you had this test in, inamaanisha at least one of the tests zitaikatch. Iseme hii iko caught. So your application uko sure ita work. So tumemock, tumeandika respect tests. Sawa. Kwa pamoja hadi hapo. Now let's see how our app looks like. If umai kuja meetups zetu kuna times ufanya stories za TDD. What tuna describe how to test Ruby, Python na code. So mnakumbuka tukisend to tulikuwa tuna send to order, a post request to order ndio hii hapa. Mnaiona? Post to order hapa. Post to order iko na phone number na amount, itatoa from the params. Params ni the body, itatoa from. Kwa hiyo request yako kulikuwa na phone number. Hapa. Kulikuwa na phone number na amount. Hiyo ndio params phone param amount. Itatoa hapo. Ina hii. Ikishazichukua inasema process this payment. When process this payment, in the amount na ndio phone number, then ita-call in method process payment, itaipatia amount na phone number. Sindio? Now what process payment does, first of all ina set the shortcode. Hii shortcode tunaitoa hapa kwa app yetu. Now I need to log in. Ndio hii. Hapana, hii ni key na secret. Ilikuwa wapi crafting? Ilikuwa kwa docs. Hapa. Nataka kupata hii. a business shortcode. Docs. Alafu credentials. Okay. Yeah, nimelogin. Credentials iko security credentials, ndio? Ama test credentials. Test credentials ndio hizi. So ningeenda / test credentials. So ndio hizi. So wananipatia kwa wapi? Hata nashangaa. Zinafaa zikuwe hapa. They were here. Here. They were here. But nyinyi mkiangalia hapa, haki ya Mungu haiko. No, but shortcode utapewa hapa, initiator name utapewa, hizi vitu zote utapewa. Sawa. Ukikuja hapa kwa app yako, nikirefresh itazitoa, si ndio? Alafu app yako itawaka. Si ndio? We. Yeah, but situation tu ziko hapa, iko hapa. So, hapo ndio tulitoa hii shortcode. Shortcode ndio hii. Hii kitu mtu shortcode tumeitoa hapa. Timestamp tuna generate timestamp kutumia strf type. So tunafanya time now alafu convert to hour, minute, day hivyo. So every time tutakuwa tuna generate hii timestamp for every request. Passkey tumepewa ndio hii. Naiona? These are passkey. Ndio tunaweka hapa. So hii tunapewa, hatu-generate in any way. Now request body si mnaikumbuka? How it should look like. From ilipeanwa hapa. Gani? Ndio hii. Haya ndio hii. Shortcode 174.379. That's changed. So, ndio shortcode.
Naona umeweka Samantha school.
Hiyo ni tu ya kuona usome tu haraka. Turubi ukiweka underscore hapo ukiseparate every ni the same thing. Nikakuweka 15,000 uweke 15,000. Tukutoe hapa 500 tuone kama watu uko nayo ama itatuambia insufficient. Kwa M-pesa. Ongelea 1 million hapa. Tutume request yako 500. Na uweke pin. So hadi hapa tuko sawa, si ndio? Passkey tumepewa, then the request body tunatengeneza business shortcode. Business shortcode ndio hii hapa, si ndio? Password. Now password ndio hii, tuna call method inaitwa password. Tulikuwa tuna concatenate shortcode, timestamp na passkey. Then tuna base 64 encode if you remember. Si ndio? Unakumbuka hapo? So hiyo ndio tunafanya hapa, password, base 64 encode, shortcode, passkey na timestamp. Then return that hapa. So hiyo data yako hapa kwa password. Timestamp ndio tumegenerate hapa ndio. Sawa? Hii ni constant. Amount tulipass from the form, si ndio? Tulipass from the form tukaweka kwa amount alafu tukaipass in hapa. So ndio hii. Phone number the same. Shortcode ni hii bado. Same thing. Callback URL sasa hapa ndio vita nyingine. So for the callback URL, let's talk about it mwisho when we set it up. Sawa. Account tukatoa hapa account, paying for shoes ni describe it gonna happen. Sawa. After all this, now we need to send the request in Ruby. Now Ruby code. So we build a request body. After we build a request body, we now send a HTTP. Hii ni kuprepare the body. Tukisha prepare the body, now tunafanya URL, then we initiate an HTTP thing, ikuwe HTTPS. Sawa? Then tunatengeneza a request that we will ultimately send hapa. Now, we need to give it headers as per the documentation, if you remember. Documentation ilikuwa inataka URL, post to this, then give it the following headers. Ndio hizi hapa. Sawa? Now, kwa zile headers kulikuwa na authorization header. On our authorization header, tulikuwa tunasema bearer, then we give it the access token. Access token, you must request it from Safco every time. An access token is like a secret key that you use kuji-identify. Not Safco. M-pesa inaona hiyo, itajua huu ni nani. Huu ni nani. Sawa? So, we call the method access token yenye ndio hii hapa. Now, this method pia itatengeneza HTTP, sawa? Na itatuma request to hii. Ya itarudi back na the access token. So, tuweke kama black box for now. Tuseme tu hapa kutakuwa na access token. Iko wapi? Hapa. Then at this point, we can say that the request body is this request body. Hii hapa. Yenye tuli set up previously. Then we can now send the request. HTTP request, then send this request. Yenye tume set up hapa. Sawa? Once we send the request, hapa, Safcom ita reply na response. Yenye tume assign to res. That res, tukitaka kuona content zake tunasema response body. So, itaturudishia kitu Safcom ame respond nayo. Sorry. In short, ndio kitu tuna explain. Ndio nilikuwa nacheka tukisema tuende kwa code. Yes. Wapi? Hapa? Okay. Acha ni explain tena bila kupoint code. Tunafaa to set up the HTTP body, the request body kwa post. Sindio? To set up the request body, tunahitaji business shortcode, password, timestamp, nini na nini. Sindio? Now the first thing we need to take care of ni shortcode. Yenye tunaenda pale tukatoa. Sindio? Second one ni password. The password, tumeambiwa how to generate it. Sindio? So we will be generating password every time you timestamp ina differ according to request. Mtu ametuma request sahi, mwingine akatuma in the next 2 seconds, milliseconds imechange. Sindio? So the password itakuwa different. Sivyo? Then timestamp tunaigenerate. Generate hapo. Amount tulitoa kwa form. Phone number tulitoa kwa form. Business shortcode tulitoa kwa pale kwa M-pesa, sindio? Then phone number kwa form. Callback tumesema to hold for now. Account, tunaweka tu hivyo account. Paying for shoes tumeweka tu hivyo for now. Ikae tu hivyo. Hiyo ndio request body. Sindio? Now, after that, we need now to prepare to send the request in Ruby. So how do you send that request? You initiate a HTTP thing yenye inaku allow ku send HTTP request. So the first one ni unasema URL yenye inaenda ni wapi? Sawa? Ukishasema URL kwenye inaenda, you initiate a new HTTP. Unasema unatengeneza an object yenye inaku allow ku send an HTTP request. Okay. Alafu iambie hii ndio hii HTTP yenye tumetengeneza hapa kutumia hii. Nimeclick. Oh, na nimeclick nimewaka request ID error 44 resource not found. Kwenda. So nimejipata nimeclick na ika go through. Hii ni HTTP object yenye tumetengeneza hapa, then tunaambia .force SSL ni true, kumaanisha lazima utumie HTTPS. Then verify mode, hii walikuwa wametuambia kwa site tufanye story ya verify mode. After that, tunatengeneza the request object. Now the request object ni HTTP post request, then you post to this URI. So, then on this request object, you give it request headers. Accept this content type authorization. Why the hell do you have this? Authorization header, okay, to make set. Then to set the authorization header, we need an access token. To get the access token tunai require from SAF point. So for now tusiangalie, tujue tu tunaitoa hapa. So itasema bearer then the access token. Then we attach the body yenye iko hapa. Tuna attach to the request, alafu tunatuma the request. Once this form itatudishia response yenye itakuwa assigned to. So we send a request, we expect a response. So after we get a response, tutasema what is the body of the response. See request tumeipatia body, response piko na body. Swali? Any question? Nilikuwa na 30 minutes. Nimechukua how long? Sawa, so up to hapo tumeelewa. Hapo tuko sawa. So hii code imetosha kuitisha mtu pin. Venye iko hivi. Itakutisha pin ukiweka itanini hivyo. Hata bila hii callback URL kuwork. Yes, Wagol. Password J. Day method ina generate password. So tuliambiwa tunachukua shortcode na timestamp and code na base 64. So that's what happens here. Ate? I catch someone in the chapter. Ate? Hauna pesa. So sijui ni catch nani tena. Naye kuna swali? Not on the code details but on the process. Yeah. Sijui exactly what happens na the one tap thing, but niko na theory. So my theory is the one tap thing kwanza sijui kani NFC ama nini. Inaona NFC. How does it communicate na phone? So let's assume ina communicate na NFC. Sindio? So you tap, ukisha tap inafanya the same thing yenye tunafanya. It sends a request, ikishatuma request to nini? To M-pesa. The moment inatuma request to M-pesa, M-pesa ita respond back to your phone. Sawa, details zako zenye tunahitaji to make a request. Umeeleweka? So all you need ni how to create this request. As long as you can create this request, then the rest Safaricom wata handle. They'll do the SDK push for you. They'll handle kama pin iko right or wrong. Hiyo ni hao watashughulikia. Oh, you want up here, yeah. It's registered with the number. So iko registered na namba yako, si ndio? Alafu itajua aje amount. Amount inajua aje? So to pin straight. So so exactly. So hii kitu kazi yake device ya sasa ndio inafanyika kazi inafanya. It sends a request to M-pesa, then M-pesa sends a request to you. Ikishatuma request kwako, una accept ama una nini. Then so after okay. So ili ni explain hiyo kitu yenye beta ameuliza, one tap anasema tap ya hii kitu, sindio? Akitapia ni kama send hii request. Ni kama hii request, HTTP request to this URL. Sawa? Akisha send HTTP request to this URL, M-pesa ita send back a response to the machine, mwambie ngoja kidogo naangalia. Sindio? So machine ita relax. Tuko pamoja? Juu ishasema toa huyu pesa. Then M-pesa itakuitisha pin. Uweke. Kama iko right, itarudi to hii device. Sasa hiyo ndio callback URL ya hii device. They have a way of communicating back to that device. Itarudi back to the device imwambie haitoshi. So they have a way of this through the callback URLs again. So it is basically the same thing. Kama wametwist ni kidogo kabisa. Kama wametwist ni kitu kidogo tu. But they're using the same API to achieve the same thing. Yeah? Hadi hapo? Sawa. So this is the Ruby code that does all that. Kuna yenye kwa file moja bila test hii hapa. Yeah, there's so much repetitive things na nini, but so hii code imetosha to my request. So hii mnaona hii iko get home itarenda index file. Hii index file niko na form. Sawa. Hiyo form alafu nifinye submit ita post to hapa. Post request. Then the post request ita work na hizi vitu zote na itume the request. Alafu iseme payment is being processed. Hiyo ndio tulikuwa tunaona kwa screen. Yeah. Hii code ni straightforward. Swali yote before tuende kwa callback URL. Alafu tu work na callback URLs. So mmenotice hiki na hata bila callback URL. Hata tukiweka the wrong callback URL. Nimetaka kutumia jina lako na nishasema ni the wrong one, so hata tuweke kitu kai. So hata nikaeka hivi without the right callback URL, things will still work. Tutoe pesa nani sasa? Abiti. Si tulisema 500. Tulisema 500. So nimeweka the wrong callback URL. Sasa tumeingia kwa callbacks. So if you want anything clarified tafadhali. Easier side. Namba yake inakuwa 079. Oh. So tumuitishe 500. Imekuja, unaambiwa? Okay. Do you want to send 500 to blah blah blah? Hivyo sio. So tume send. Si mnaona tuna by the way, hiyo kitu mwenye kitolewa itaenda off. So do you want to send, so we ask for reply after one incident. Okay, I've been wrong. So meona even without the callback URL, but it works. Yeah. Now, why do we really need the callback URL? Now let's guess why we need the callback URL. Busyness. Na ikikosa what happens? Kama hiyo URL iko invalid. Kama hiyo URL ni wrong kama hii. Wrong number telling you a story. Sina. Kama dem alipatia boy wrong number. Nani anaweza guess bila callback URL. So tuseme tumepatia Subcom wrong number. Sasa dem ashapeana wrong number. Ukitry ku call haigo through, sina. What happens? Maboy move on, sina. Tunapanga tu lakini tena ni task is time. Ande? Mwambie kusamehe, leo tuko na wageni. Samehe Hakim, leo tuko na wageni. Hebu tuambie venye ulipewa wrong number, what did you do? Mtu accept na kumove on, sina? As long as mtu mwingine ata receive, sina? Afadhali kuwe mteja. Kona jaribu one. Brian, what happens when you give a wrong callback URL? Juu tumeona anaitishwa hata kama callback URL yetu haiwaka. Callback URL yetu iko invalid, but bado anaitishwa pin na tukukate bob, tukukate shilingi, sio? Na akiweka the right pin itakata. Utoe bob. Submit. Waiting for local host, taking too long. Yeah, being processed. Huh? iPhone imehang. Haizi fungua? Oh. Now we cancel too. Usha cancel? And hiyo tunatuma request to an iPhone. Sent. Nimekutumia SMS. Oh, ndio hii SMS yenye napata bila kusoma hizo zingine. One bob sent to Safaricom test 12. For account this new M-pesa balance is Kona? Terminal. Oh, hakuna anything. So mimi swali yangu ni. Yeah, yes, Abraham.
So most probably callback URL. But correct callback URL. Hapo ndio watakuwa wanapanga sema JSON response. JSON response. That was JSON ama ni XML.
JSON.
JSON. That should contain nearly all the payment details. So from there, if you want to manipulate this thing, go to JSON database, go to your record. That is where you pick up all. The reason why you may saw something at which you make because it means something that is always listening to that video. And I teach you listening, which it's very hard to say because of the so that's why so what happens if you think about around callback URL? It will send that callback. That JSON response to that callback URL. So isipopata URL, but ikipata ya mtu itatuma huko na hiyo ya mtu itahandle. Get it? Sasa ikihandle itaingia kwa that person but pesa itakuja kwake. So itaenda kwa the wrong URL. That other person will probably record it in his or her database, but hata kumpata that. While on your way, utakuwa umepata pesa, but then you have not recorded it somewhere. So that is when probably you can see, asilimia pesa, you cannot. then probably you go to their messages and verify. I don't know whether that can make sense.
Yeah. No. So basically tulikuwa tunaambiwa kitambo ati ID zilikuwanga kubwa, ulikuwa unazihanga hapa kipande. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa inaitwa kipande. Upande. Bado upande yako wapi? Upande yako? Hapo tu kazi. So, the callback URL is where Safaricom sends back the message akimaliza, si ndio? Yeye ashatoa pesa successfully, si ndio? Tuseme umeenda shopping tasks, lipa na M-pesa, ukafanya, si ndio? Then ukalipa successfully to M-pesa. How will Taskis know that you have already paid? How will they know? Watakwambia haiko kwa system. Vile tu alikuwa anasema. System ni nini? System ni server yao. Sindio? So what actually happens is, once Safaricom ishamtoa hiyo Bob, it goes back to Taskis inawaambia, nimetoa nani Bob? Using JSON. Ikishasema nimetoa nani Bob, au atachukua hiyo information, waipass, waistore kwa database. Waseme, hii namba ilitolewa this amount, alafu waiweke kwa system yao. Wao kuuliza namba yako ni? Si ndio? Alafu ataangalia kwa DB waone, uko na. Waangalia kwa DB waone hii namba imelipa hii amount leo at this time. Imeeleweka? Kuna wale wanakuuliza confirmation code, si ndio? Oh, hebu tuambie code yako, si ndio? Sometimes. So Safaricom also sends the confirmation code back to their system. Their system is now the callback URL. Kwa pamoja? So the code we had is able to deduct money from someone, but it is not able to tell us the information. Hatuwezi jua hiyo number that ilikuwa successful or not, hatujui. Si ndio? Hatujui kama alikatwa ama hakukatwa. Kwa pamoja? Hatujui kama ili go through ama iku go through, then hatujui confirmation code yake. So we need a URL that itachukua hizo vitu ndani. Iseme, oh, kumbe it actually happened. That is now your callback URL. Yes, Miss. Wanaulizanga SMS. Ulipata SMS? Yeah, SMS. No, till number, kuna SMS inatumwa kwa namba ya till number. There's a SIM card yenye Safaricom wanakupatia. So ili to avoid to your hassle, we can always create a system yenye inachukua hizo vitu. Sawa? Okay, so should we move over to callback URLs? It's another thing. Ile code nime-explain tu ya kutoa pesa, si ya callback URL. Ni saa ngapi? Aya, so hey. We need a break. Food inakuja saa ngapi? Food inakuja saa ngapi?
Check in food. You guys have in the afternoon.
Kuna ndio tunamaliza tu. Ate? Alafu tunaenda. Oh, tunaweza ongea. Si tunachukua break ya 5 minutes. Alafu tuende kwa callback URLs. So what time are you coming back?
12:15.
12:15 si 5 minutes. 12:15. Food ile saa ngapi? Okay, alete tu one, alafu tumaliza. So, plan ya 12:15 ni explain callback URL. Niwaonyeshe venye nafanya, then immediately after that sasa tunajigawa into 3 groups